Okay, the time is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this regular Economic Development Commission meeting to order for Thursday, April 17th. We'll start off with the roll call on the left.
All right, Shannon, Fagan, Economic Development Director.
Carrie Tatro.
Denise Broder.
Tom Sinkewicz.
June Gagné.
Trav Harmon.
All right, next item. Everyone has received a copy of the meeting minutes. We sent out an email, and then Shannon had some hard copies. Any questions or comments on the meeting minutes from March 20th? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 20th.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from March 20th, 2025. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, next item, public participation. Anything, Art?
I do have a question, Art Gagné. I had asked June to ask, but I'll ask it.
Okay.
The pavilion, is there any updates? Is there any time limit on that grant to when we have to spend it by?
It'll be by 2027. We will extend it out 1 year, so it would have been expensed by 2026. We'll extend it 1 year to 2027. When the grant application was originally put in, they used the demolition of the old Plainfield High School as the match, which was great as far as town side of it. The downside is that steep will not cover any type of engineering, surveying, architecture, anything. So we have to find funds to be able to do a whole design. We have a conceptual design, and we do have an architect who's willing to work with us, because our engineer for the town will do all of the site planning for it, which is great. We just need a higher architect, which we're thinking will be around $10,000 to $15,000 to do that. So we don't have funds to cover that right now, so we plan to extend out to 2027 and either find a grant or something that can help us with those costs.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, after public participation, is reports.
All right, so I didn't print out a report because not much has changed from last month. We have a weird little lull of grants that normally happens every now and then. We did just get awarded $50,000 for the police. That will be for, I don't remember when they did it last time, but they did a rural roads, like speed enforcement check on the back roads. They were mostly around Shepherd Hill, the elementary school over there. And we got $5,000 from that. They finally sent us a check for that, even though it was a year and a half late. And they just awarded us $50,000 more, so it's 10 different reporting periods for $5,000 each. So we have till next year to expense it, so we'll be working with the police department for that. Animal control has been awarded $5,000 to help with spay neuter clinics. So we're going to see what incentives we can do for residents. Residents will always be the priority for that whole program. We won't be taking out of town residents unless we have a lot of extra money, which I don't see happening because there is a big need, and we'll be working on our feral cat population that we have.
Did I see something somewhere about vaccines for cats being offered?
I don't know.
Okay. I thought it was through animal control.
Vaccines or birth control?
No, vaccines.
I thought it was this weekend, I thought it was at Quinnebog, I thought I saw that.
Okay, it was a all right.
Are you talking about feral cats or domestic cats?
Domestic. You can bring
Oh,
your
okay.
domestic cats, they had some kind of a discount or something. Yeah.
Yes, the goal of this grant will be to control our feral cat population
Yeah.
so we don't keep having issues. So
Right.
that was great news for them because they finally got funding, and they don't normally get funding from any grant. And we applied for the town clerk to do their back scanning, which we do every single year. Don't remember the exact amount. Every year it goes down, so I think we're probably looking at $4,000 for that. We're going to keep it in-house this year to allow us to do more back scanning. And then the last thing was that Inter-Royal, it was officially approved for the $8 million. So now we just await the state for the contract. So I'll expect a fully executed contract probably within a year and a half. Takes a long time.
Yes.
Yep, so that will be a good project. That one is half of the funds to do the demolition, remediation, demolition abatement of Royal. Our goal is to look into future brownfield funding to do the remaining $6 million of the estimated project budget.
Would it be safe to say that this is the furthest this property's ever gotten
Yeah.
in hope of changing it?
Yep. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of the testing, so we've worked with Ty and Bond regularly,
Okay.
multiple meetings with them every month. We've done structural analysis of the building, all the ground testing for it, so they're very confident in what they've found there and what it is, how to remediate. So now we just keep going out to bid. We have a targeted cleanup that we will hopefully have our bid results soon, and that will be to get rid of the guard shacks they have. There's some barrels of mysterious items that will be removed during that. So that will be about $115,000, and that will all be covered under our $300,000 DECD EPA grant we currently have. So there's a lot of testing going on over there.
Yeah, Tom, did you tell me there was some barrels removed?
So what I was talking to June about the other day is kind of going over the history, of the site, because not everybody, people have heard of the site, but they don't really know how long it's been going on. So the reality is the plant shut down in 1985, and between 85 to 95, there was some activity going on, but of course the building started falling in disrepair, no maintenance work going on. There was one company that turned out to be not legit that started moving in, and then they just abruptly stopped and left their stuff in the building. After that company was, never returned their stuff, it then just sat there and became very vulnerable. That's when more people started breaking in, and all sorts of trespassing and squatters and things like that. So that went on basically between 1995 to 2005. And in 2005, as we know, was the big fire, burned to the ground as far as the main mill, and then left a little bit of the weave shed and some of those outer buildings, which then continued to deteriorate between 2005 and hard to believe it was 20 years ago. That those buildings have been sitting there rotting in natural decay, are as bad as they are now. But what we also noted was that there was some cleanup back in the 90s, cleanup as far as removal of barrels that was done back in. Because basically before the fire, there was a heck of a lot more, there. And unfortunately before the fire, some of it got removed, and then whatever was left in there obviously went up in flames. So there's been, it's been an ongoing project through so many administrations, so many different economic development directors, town planners. It's like so many people have put hours and hours and hours into that site. And unfortunately, for many of them, they either retired, moved on, and they never got to see the end result. And so, to June's point, there actually could be, at some point, like in the next 5 years, we could see an end point of finally the cleanup of that site.
Molecules being moved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some potential development in the future.
And the funny thing is that Ty and Bond, who we're working with, our main point of contact, he's been working on this project since the very beginning, because he worked for other companies that he's working on it.
Other companies.
Yeah,
came
so
along.
he's hopefully gonna be able to see it all the way through. So we're hoping it'll probably be like 5 years
Right.
down the line
That's
before
right.
we see like it fully leveled and the developer can come in. The developer is still very interested in the property, which is a great sign, because a lot of times with brownfields properties, they lose interest or they figure out how much it's gonna cost, and they're like, oh no, we can't, but that's not an issue here, so we're excited.
Oh, yeah, June, we may finally see that end.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know.
I have questions.
Yes.
The $50,000 police grant, is that a one-time? Is it a limited time? Have they told us what we should use per a timeline?
It's 1 year, and then it's 10 different, I don't know how they word it, but it's like reporting periods of $5,000, and that's specific to officers' pay. So when they do, whether it could be like overtime pay, if they're on these back roads doing speed enforcement, then they will offset their overtime costs with that.
Is that including also impairment enforcement?
I think it's just mostly speed, but if there is impairment, then it's covered under it too. Like when we did it the first time, there was active warrants that they arrested, and all they do is just keep a log of how many pullovers they had, how many arrests, how many tickets were given, warnings, and it's just broken down that way. So it doesn't matter what they catch them for, it's just, they just do a list.
But the primary function is speed enforcement.
Yep.
Is there any kind of grant? Because I've been in this town since '09, I've never seen a checkpoint. I've never seen a speed enforcement. It's not that they're not happening. I personally think they should be expanded, because Friday night, Saturday night is just I know that you were supposed to announce it in advance, that you are doing GUI checkpoint enforcement, which I have no problem. They announce it, whatever it is, but I've yet to see one. I've yet to see them. It's not that I'm not grateful on this. I'm wondering how much we can get more.
They don't really have anything specific to that. Most police grants are related to like body cams, dash cams, and vests. They don't really get a lot of things to cover wages.
You good, Track?
One last question. How do we accelerate the Interroyal project?
You can't. It's fully on the state timeline.
Yeah.
So like we
Who
went
do we
out,
have to call?
there's no one you can call. So like we just closed the bid March 27th. We're now at April 17th and we are still reviewing the bids. Then the state has to review them. They'll say, yes, you can go with that person. Then it goes to the Board of Selectmen and then we can tell the vendors they can start. So that could be a month-long process just after you've closed the bid, and bids have to be open for a certain amount of time. They have to go to certain, like, they have to go turn by fire, they have to go to the state bid site. So it's a long process.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay?
Anything else for?
No, that was all for reports.
Okay. Moving on to the next item, which is old business. Business of the year. I guess it's worth asking, have we received any yet?
No. So we're going to start pushing it on social media. We'll probably do our Facebook first is out this week because of people on vacation, so we'll start pushing that. I won't do any turnpike buyer posts until we get closer
Right.
to make it a little, that way we're not spending a lot of money on that department.
What I would encourage the members to do is, again, it's going to be ongoing now, we're in the springtime. It's also kind of, there's two things you can do there. One is, certainly go visit businesses. A lot of us do that on a regular basis anyway, but while you're visiting the business and being a patron there, maybe bring a copy or two with you. And if you're speaking to a manager or the actual owner, be like, hey, this is maybe something you want to consider. Because our ask, our one-on-one interaction is more likely to maybe get them to consider than us just, we're going to continue to post it on the website and social media, but a lot of business owners just aren't going to go there to be seeking it out. But if we go to them with it, we may be able to get some others generated. So definitely want to keep promoting that. And then segueing into the next one, which is the volunteer theater. So I did have a thought on that, because I know we've talked about it, and I think everyone thought it was a good idea, but do you have in the document for the business of the year, do you have it saved as a PDF or a Word document that can be in Word?
I can edit it all, yep.
Okay. Could you send that to me? Because there's plenty of time still to nominate. I think that we should just pretty much use the same template
Yeah.
and just change some wording on it.
Yeah, that works.
And so that way we have both of those options of when
That's a good idea.
when you're talking about it, be like, well, are we talking about a for-profit business, or are we talking about a community nonprofit organization that they too deserve to be recognized for everything they do for the town, but it's not necessarily one and the same as a restaurant, or other things.
Right, because we had Project Penwood here as a business. But
Right.
this would change, it would be volunteer.
Right. Yeah, so I think we just need to get a form generated, so if you could send that to me, I can take a look at it, and then we can get that up.
Yeah, that was, because we're just in the tentative stage for that one, so nothing's been posted for that, just because we haven't fully decided what we want to do for that one, but I can send it over to you, you can make whatever changes you want.
Okay.
And start sharing it. I'm good with that.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I know we had a couple nonprofits get nominated this past time, and they
Yeah.
do a lot of great work, but then it was kind of like the business of the year, and then the nonprofit, so it was hard for us to
Yeah,
decide.
because like another example I think of is like the Plainfield Business Association.
Mhm.
They have been spearheading the Celebrate Plainfield Day for years and years and years, all volunteer effort,
Yeah.
Representing local businesses, but they, just as a separate organization, could be recognized,
Yeah.
certainly for what they've done. So. All right, next item under new business is event recap. So I know this past weekend Shannon was not able to make it. We had a really great time at Hope Medical.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, grand opening there. WNY was there, Gary O. Had a great ribbon cutting on the front.
It
The
was freezing.
weather was not the best, for it,
It was
but the camaraderie, talking to all these people from the community, her family members that were there, Susie's family members, it was really a great event. June was there.
It's a mom and pop medical center. Well, no, really, she's fabulous. Class which she's done at Hope Lodge, and this is even beyond.
It's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And they now accept Cigna insurance, so,
Oh, good, I'm glad to hear.
yep, you have that. You can now go see her.
Good for you.
Yep, because pretty much every town employee in the schools here, we all have Cigna, so,
Well, they probably had a waiting period to find out, right? They have to apply, don't they?
yeah, it was,
To their insurance.
she said there was a lot of paperwork.
Right,
To get approved.
usually papers.
Yeah, so I stopped in this week and I gave her the money tree from the town and the
Oh, good,
commission, so
okay.
she's very excited, so,
She had already gotten her swag bag, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Her secretary should have one too.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a great event. She also talked about what the next phase would be, or the next project, which would be transportation, because transportation is an issue for many, as far as even just getting out to an appointment.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great, that she
That's
mentioned
true.
it publicly, to everybody there, that, now that she's got this going, plus she's still got the whole lodge, that's gonna be one of her next.
Well, she has a brother-in-law, is it a brother,
Yeah.
brother-in-law
Yeah,
who's gonna
brother,
be
yeah.
doing the transportation?
Oh,
That's
nice.
why I say it's a mom and pop.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole family is involved.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Doesn't Northeast, don't we have a public transit?
We do, but this is for,
Medical.
Yeah, so this one would be
It's for
specific
medical, but
to,
the thing is, we also have that nice shiny park right next door. That would be a lovely bus stop.
oh, that-
Yeah.
sure. Because you can call them. for
That's
rides.
right.
You can call them.
Public on public, stop right there, take a walk in the park, and, oh, look, a doctor.
I think this one might be, part of what she was thinking about is this more special, closer accommodation. So meaning like assisted, at home, directly from home to.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like, for some, it can also be mobility, issues that maybe they're just gonna try.
Sometimes the VA will provide rides also for veterans.
Yeah, non-emergency medical transport is very profitable.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
but you gotta have certain compliance. But the other
Right.
thing is that since literally all these buildings are within eye shot of each other, without a trek, would it be wrong to petition to say, can we have a spot for the buses to stop in front of this
Should be bus
park?
stops.
I mean,
I agree.
It's
There should
there.
be bus
and
stops.
one, it helps the business.
That's where the stop is right at Cumpy's.
Right at companies?
That's their stop.
Okay, then we should be able to reach out and say, can you make a name
Someone
drop?
had talked about having
Right here.
bus stops in
yeah,
town.
I don't think that the bus it goes to their houses to pick them up.
No, they go
So that
through-
would be the issue.
They go through public points.
Yeah, so I
Right.
think
So,
that's,
yeah.
she
So what
wants to
she's
be like
talking
door
about
to
is
door
being accommodated.
transport.
Yeah, because I think if you have deviated routes, you could have them stop at your
Yeah.
house, I believe, but you have to call and make arrangements.
Right.
Yeah, currently our senior center does have transportation programs, but you have to be 60 and up for it.
Right.
And we only have one driver, so that makes it a little difficult. But he is working on getting his license to drive the bus that's back there. So that way we can take more clients, so it's the shopping trips, or, so we'll take them shopping, to the bank, and any medical appointments. So, if you have any seniors they can just call the rec center to get scheduled on that, at least in the meantime, before we get some more up and going here.
I have one question.
Mhm.
On the online, questionnaire of Business of the Year, is it a bubble checkbox, or can you fill in the business?
It's fill-in.
Okay, good.
And then, also on the recap, did you have anything you want to mention about the cleanup?
Yeah, so the cleanup, we had about 35 volunteers. The event ended right before the rain started, so that was great. We had like 30 bags of contractor bags of trash. I spent 2.5 hours just on one street and collected like 7 bags myself.
Wow.
Yeah. The one that Burrito Mills is on. I don't remember.
Chestnuts.
Yeah, it's one of the chestnuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, there's a walking trail that is the dumping ground for everything. So there was a whole bunch of stuff there. A lot of nip bottles, so it was great to see volunteers. We had Jewett City Savings Bank volunteers come out. A young girl who works at Big Y came out and volunteered. We had town hall employees there, so it was great. The highway crew was so great. They were just looping around collecting all the bags for us. But it was a good showing, and we had a lot of residents come out and reach out to us, and like, oh, like, this is awesome, like, when are you guys doing it again?
That's what I was thinking, maybe more than once a year.
Yeah, so they were excited. It was 100% grant funded through the Wax Green Valley, so we were able to get coffee and donuts from Baker's Dozen. They did a buy one, get one deal for us. Big Y donated waters and trash bags. And then we had pickers left over, so we ordered some more to make sure we were ready to go for next year's, because they do break after a couple of years. But it was a great event. We were really happy, and it was nice to see residents coming out and kind of wanting to show more pride in their community. So hopefully we continue it.
I think some of the scouts, Boy Scouts.
Oh yes, we had a bunch of Boy Scouts.
That's good.
So they pretty much did all of the, like, Lori Drive and Shepherd Hill streets up there. We sent them fully up there, and they did a great job. They came back with so many bags, and then we had the Conservation Committee. A few of them came out, so
Good.
it was a group of a whole bunch of different people, so it was nice to see.
Yeah.
And I was happy the rain held off.
Yeah. And then I guess they did do another one last weekend too. It was going on kind of simultaneously.
Yeah. Yes, they did the Lusa cleanup, which is led by Mission Lusa. They had a rainy day again. That's the second year in a row, but they still did a great job. They had a good amount of volunteers, and they got a lot of bags too, so.
Yeah, I know one thought that's been around, and like June said, maybe this is something that can be done, 2 or 3 times a year, is if we could try to get, volunteers assembled kind of by village.
Yeah.
Put a team together for village. I know, like, this area here, going all the way on Community Avenue and then even down towards Railroad, down by the track, so many nips and trash and stuff all over the parking lot, over by the horse brook over there, tons of trash all going around there. So this center area would be good for like one team.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Oregon had a lot of concentration down there, and then Mission Musa, is kind of taking ownership of that, and then even Central Village, there's some areas around that center area there. I'm sure
Yeah, that's my dream, to do all 4 villages at
Yeah.
one time. We just need a large amount of volunteers to come out. So I think what we're gonna do for now is we're gonna rotate each village. So we did Musa last year, we did Oregon this year. We'll do probably Plainfield, and then Central Village, we'll just keep rotating
Yeah.
those through. So at least we're getting them, and we're not just sitting one spot every single year.
Right.
But hopefully we can grow it and get more.
All right. So that's it for event recap. Next item, Be Happy, Be Well Festival. We talked about that last time. Do we have any other information?
Yeah, so we signed up for it. I don't remember the date. I think it was the 17th. We will have a table
Have a
there.
table, yeah.
So we can't sell anything there, which is fine. What our plan was is that we were going to get a kind of pamphlets, flyers, anything from local businesses that are all about
May
wellness.
17th,
Yeah, May 17th first.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
1 to 3, I believe. is
1 to
the
3.
time.
Yep, that's correct.
And so like whether it's like a massage place that we have, like Marie's Fitness, not all massage places, but the fitness, for Marie's Fitness, because fitness is great for mental health, so we get her upcoming class schedule. So I was just thinking we could kind of compile a list of any businesses that we know of in the town that would be great for us to have their stuff for.
Yep.
So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. We can also divvy up the list so people can go visit different businesses to get stuff. And we could just say that we're part of the Economic Development Commission, we're going to this festival, and we would like to promote your business.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely be there that day. If there's any other members, when we get closer to the event, definitely let Shannon and I know, just so we know who to expect. It would be nice to have some other members in. All right. Next item is correspondence. I don't believe we have any correspondence I've received. A type of correspondence that I would like to mention as a possibility. This is not an actionable item of any way, but it would be a form of correspondence that the commission could certainly consider for the future. I've been talking to a lot of residents lately about a controversial proposal right now that's going on in town about a trash incinerator plan that is being proposed for our town. A lot of interesting opinions about it in the town, but for the most part, most of the people that I have talked to, which is probably a good dozen or so, are very much against a type of business like that coming into the town. And that's where I feel that we as the Economic Development Commission really should research more about this. And I definitely encourage all the members here to attend May 7th Wednesday, May 7th, is an informational meeting, 7 o'clock here at the town hall, from representatives from the company who's proposing this, where they are going to have information here about what that entails, what it means for the town. And I really encourage all the members to attend it, because you might have some questions answered there, but you'll probably also see some people that definitely want to express their opinion to it, whether they're for or against it. So I plan on going to that meeting, and so my thought is that if the members, in giving some thought to it, if we all, after getting more information about it, are in agreement, we have the ability as a commission, any board or commission can do this, to write a letter, whether we're for or against something. It doesn't really hold a lot of water, but what it does do is it makes it known that we, as appointed members of a town commission, that this would affect, because it's a business that would affect economic development in our town, it could show that we are paying close attention to this as a commission and, again, are either for or against it. And one of the things that I would be willing to do as a chair is I would be willing to put together basically a summarized letter, and obviously I would send it out to all the members so you can take a look at it, let me know if you have changes, let me know if you have things you want to see in it. I would be willing to take the time to type it up, and then eventually what could happen is this proposal, I'm guessing sometime after the informational meeting, is eventually going to make its way to the state siting committee, and they're going to be reviewing any information about it at that time. And so there'll be an opportunity in the future that any letters, any correspondence, again, whether it's for or against it, could be reviewed, could be sent to that state level commission. And so, this is something that, again, not just us, inland wetlands is an area that could be affected by this, that's something they may consider. The funny thing is planning and zoning, that board has already made it very clear, and June is on planning and zoning. She actually sent me, there's a video that's actually out there of when the decision was made.
November 2023.
Yep,
Yeah.
November 2023 is when the
They
decision by the
turned it
PNC
down
was, turned down.
Because they wanted to change it to industrial, and they disclosed what it was for. And at that meeting, we just decided it wasn't a good fit with the town. But now that they've gone beyond that to the siting council, so we have to get together and I think his idea is great. We'll do a letter too.
Where did the letter go to?
I don't know, Shane, did I just send it to you?
You can send it to me.
Yeah, and then obviously she would work with Kevin, our first selectman, to see where we need to go after that. But yeah, that's something that, again, if the members would be interested in that type of correspondence, again, I'm willing to take the time. I can certainly talk to you, outside of here if you got any thoughts, and I can send eventually, have Shannon send the draft out. You can take a look at it, and I'm guessing at the next meeting we could vote if we wanted to adopt that letter and send it. So just wanted to put that out there to the members. Any questions or comments on that? No? If not, we could entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
So,
They're a great idea, but a thought was, June and I, are going to take some. If there's any other member who would like to take a few, we should definitely try to, if we have opportunities, to promote them, to get them out there, so that way they're not just sitting in Shannon's office.
They're good advertising.
Yeah, good
So
advertising,
take
yep.